Now, last time we got together, we talked about topic sentences and how you can make good lead-ins. Today, I want to talk about how you can grow your sentences. Does anybody know what it means to grow your sentence? Yes, Miranda?
Make them more exciting?
Yeah, make them more exciting, exactly. So we're going to talk about 3 different ways to do that. You can either do it in the opening of your sentence, so at the very beginning you can add something. In the middle of your sentence, you can add a phrase or some words in the middle, or at the end of your sentence, which will be like a closer. So we'll talk about the 3 different kinds, and I'll give you some examples, and then I'll ask you to help me rewrite a sentence, and then we'll go on to the next one. And then at the end, we'll have a worksheet that we'll get together in small groups, and we'll work together that way to see if we can work together and form some different sentences using the 3 different types. Okay? So the first one in growing sentences is an opener. And those are words that you use to start a sentence that calls attention to certain kinds of details. For example, I have a sentence, the coyote dashed under the porch. Okay? In order to make that a little bit more detailed, we could add the word terrified, the coyote dashed under the porch. So just by adding one word, it gives a whole different meaning to your sentence. Because before it was just the coyote is dashing under the porch. And now all of a sudden we have a terrified coyote. So that kind of lets you know, that kind of sets the mood for your story or your article that you work on. Okay? The next sentence, the city's animal control unit arrived. Okay? That tells us something that happened, pretty basic, kind of boring. But if we add, soon after we called for help, the city's animal control unit arrived. So now you have more information. You know when and what we did. So we called for help, soon after we saw this coyote, and then they arrived. So we have more information. Now the third sentence is, they caught the coyote. Can anybody come up with something that we can add at the beginning of this sentence that would help make it a little bit more descriptive or something that'll give us some more information? Callie, what do you think we could add?
Quickly after they arrived, they caught the coyote.
Yeah, so then we find out that it didn't take them very long. So quickly after they arrived, and we put a comma, they caught the coyote. Is there another way that we can do it? Without completely different maybe? Miranda?
They caught the mean coyote.
Okay, they caught the mean. Well, that would be kind of in the middle, and we're going to get to that one next. Okay, so right now we're just concentrating on what we could add to the beginning of the sentence. So quickly after they arrived, we could, what if they didn't catch it right before? Okay, they caught the coyote, but what if they had trouble? How could we add part of a sentence that would describe that they had trouble maybe? Natalie, you want to try it?
Finally, after lots of struggle,
Yeah, good.
they finally caught the coyote.
Finally, after a lot of struggle. So 2 different openers, 2 different ideas of what happened in that story. And either one of them could be right, depending on what your story is going to be about and the kind of message that you want it to convey. So good job, girls. Okay, now we'll talk about middle parts of sentences. The middle you could use to jazz up the middle of a sentence with some kind of descriptive word or phrase. Now this might not be a whole clause, it might just be 1 or 2 words, like Miranda had added the mean coyote, or the crazed coyote, or the rabid coyote. There are a lot of things that we could add in there to give a different picture of what was going on. So I have the sentence, the baby started to shriek. Okay, I'm going to add, right after baby, I'm going to add a comma, hearing a siren. The baby, hearing a siren, started to shriek. So now we know why the baby started crying, because it heard a siren. Okay? The next sentence I have, the puppies began barking. On that one, we could add the puppies, comma, frightened by all the noise, comma, began barking. So we added a whole phrase in the middle of that sentence that tells us, you know, the puppies began barking. Pretty boring, bland sentence. But if we add that they were frightened, that adds why they were barking. So let's see if we can come up with something for the last sentence. I searched for the cause of the noise. Can somebody think of something that we could add in there that might help us with our sentence? Yeah.
I frantically searched when I searched frantically.
I searched frantically. Good. Frantically. Great word. Very descriptive, because that gives you a sense of, whoa, you know, what's going on, and there wasn't a lot of, it means the person was maybe kind of frazzled. How else could you search? Or, I searched frantically for the cause of the noise. I searched all over the house for the cause of the noise. Madeline?
I searched for a long time.
Okay, I searched for a long time. I'll add that in there. For a long time. It's just adding a little bit something else to your sentence that'll help give more information to your reader. Yeah.
I searched till pigs flew.
I searched till pigs flew. That gives a whole other description. Good job. Okay, so those are middle sentences. And now we'll finish up with closers. And closers, where do you think closers come? Yeah.
At the end.
At the end, right. So we're adding words or phrases, and try putting important details at the end of your sentence. The fox ran into the road is one sentence that I came up with. And I added, instead of that period, I put a comma right in front of our bus. Okay, that gives a whole new story or idea of what just happened in front of our bus. Okay, the bus skidded off the road. So we're going to add in landing in a huge snowdrift. Now we know we're in winter. The bus is now stuck in a snowdrift. So we've got more information. So my last sentence, all the kids cheered. How do we want to try to fix that a little bit? Madeline?
All the kids cheered because we got to miss the first 2 hours of school.
Okay, because we got to miss the first 2 hours of school. That's a good one. I'm just going to leave that dot, dot, dot. We got to miss the first 2 hours of school. Yeah. What would you add to the back of that?
Now, we'll say they weren't going to school. They were on a tour bus.
Okay.
Now they get time to go on it, like the bus is going on, and on time they won't stop. Now we get to look at which route is set.
Okay, so all the kids cheered because we can look at a tour site. Maybe there's something on the other side of the snowdrift. So yeah, so now you get the idea that it's just adding information to our sentences to help make them more descriptive, give more information to our reader. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to get into small groups, and I have a worksheet for you, and we'll get together and see if you can work as a group to get some